Getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY on the daily time frame. Nothing's changed since last week on the daily. Still looking for a little bit more downside, possibly. Looking at the H4, like I've mentioned many times before, we don't have any bullish divergence there, so I'm just looking for a larger correction in here, larger than these, and then possibly another 5 down, or another impulse down to this 100 fib. So I'm not convinced yet that this is the end of the wave C on the daily time frame. H1 looks like we've ended that wave 3. So we've got, look, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and get a 5th wave up here. We may get another one down in here. I'm looking for a similar size correction to this over here, and then a 5th wave up. So you may get a few scalps out of it. Like if you get a sell, you could sell. You definitely want to be at break even at the low here, and then I'd be looking for the buy. After we get 3 down, I'd be looking for the buy for that 5th wave. AU on the daily, the same as last week. Nothing's changed. Pretty much just waiting for, we got a nice impulse. We got bullish divergence in here. We got a nice impulse up. I'm waiting for this correction like I've been mentioning for a few weeks now, and then another one up for an A, a B, a C, and then we get this larger A, B, C. H4, we're starting to get corrections. So we did get like 3 up here on the H1, and we got bearish divergence. I dare say all this is going to be a larger correction. Get another one down, some sort of an A, a B, a C, and then I'd be looking for the buy. I'd be more interested in looking for the buy. We sort of got like 3 up in here, then like 3 down here, so we can get like 3 up in here, another one down, some sort of a flat, running or expanding flat before we go up and break the top. So it looks like it's going to turn into quite a complex correction. We just have to wait for it to complete until we see a complete correction in there, and then I'd be starting to look for buys, or at least a C up, and ideally the daily plays out up to the 100 fib. Same with the GU on the daily. You know, there's still a chance that we get a little bit more upside here for this A, B, C up to this 100 fib, or it may even turn motive, because on the monthly we have a 5 waves down, so this can turn monthly, turn very motive, may even get up to this 161.8. But it's too early for that to look at that at this stage. On the H4, we got the 5 up here, got an impulse down, impulse up, and we're starting to get some sort of a correction in here. I'm looking for a larger correction than these over here. We're starting to get that. So again, once we identify a full complete correction, well, then we can start to look for buys. This has turned more complex. I was just looking for that A, B, C. It tried to go, it didn't go. So now this is becoming more complex. We sort of got like 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here. So we can get 3 or 5 down in here for a complex correction, 333 or 335 complex correction before we get the A, B, C. Or like I mentioned, it may turn motive. So you could look to buy this because we have a nice impulse up. We got like 3 down in here, so you could look for a buy, and it may go from here. You know, like I mentioned, we're from a low here. We got a nice impulse up. We're getting 3 down. So if you do get a buy set up on the lower time frames, you could look for a buy, even if it turns into 3 up in here, and then you get another one down. Well, you get a break even, or you might get a little bit off of it. And then if you do get a lower low, if this one doesn't go for you, well, you get a lower low here, and you get a bullish setup on the lower time frames down here somewhere, and I'd be looking for the buy. EU exactly the same as last week on the daily. It's been the same for a few months. We've been looking for this C up. We have got this C up. It's broken the ending point of this wave A, this wave C, so that's fine. There's still a chance we get more upside up to that 100 fib, or it may even become motive and get up to the 161.8. We don't know yet. But looking at the lower time frames, it's very similar to AU, where we have the 5 up and we lost that bullish divergence. So I'm looking for a larger correction in here, back to the 50 fib possibly, or maybe even the 61.8. We don't know, but I'm looking for a larger correction than this over here, and we're starting to get that. And if you go down to the H1, you can see that this is rather corrective. Still maybe another one down in here, but like 1, 2, 3, we get wave 4 and a wave 5 down, and then you get a bullish setup. It's quite risky at this stage. Like we do have an impulse up here, and we've sort of got 3 down in here. You can look for a buy, but it may just go up, give you a C up in here, just breaking that top, and we get a bear hidden, and we get a 5th one down. So I'm not convinced at this stage that we are at a low. Yeah, but if you go down to the lower time frames, which I can't really do in these weekly outlooks, so it take too long. But we do have nice impulse up. If you go down to lower time frames, you may get a buy set up down here somewhere for a C up. Because looking for a correction of similar size to this, it may even turn complex, and we get like W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up before we get the 5th wave down. But at this stage, you could, if you got a nice setup, you could look for it. You definitely want to be at break even at the break of these tops here, and most definitely be at the break of that top, a break even at the break of this top, because like I mentioned, I'm not convinced that we're not going to get a 5th wave down yet. NU, again, nothing's changed for all of them on the daily. I'm looking for that A, B, and a C up in here, possibly up to that 100 fib before we get A, B, C. H4, we got this choppy W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up here. We had the ball hidden in here, and we got that 5th wave up. Then we got a sharp move down, breaking the lows, and then we got a nice impulse up. So like I've been mentioning for many weeks, I'm waiting for this correction and then looking for a buy. H1, it's not as nice as EU. We got a nice impulse here up here, but this is very deep. We got an impulse and an impulse and an impulse. So we can sort of get 3 down in here, another one up flat, another one down, for some sort of like W, X, Y, X2 and a Z down, possibly down to the 50 fib, or maybe even further. But as soon as I see a complete correction in here, then I can start to look for a buy on the lower time frames down in here somewhere, and for at least a C up, for the A, B, C, and ideally, it goes up to that daily 100 fib, like I showed this 100 fib here. So we might get a nice entry for that. I'm waiting for it. You just need patience to wait for it. GY is pretty much playing out how I was looking at it. I was looking at that A. We got 3 down in here, B, and we're looking for this C up, possibly up to this 100 fib, and then I'd be looking for an A, B, C, larger correction in the W1 wave 4, and then I'll be looking for a wave 5 up on the W1. But we've been looking for this. It's been quite difficult to get in because of how choppy it is. You know, I mean, there has been buy setups on it in here and another one in here. But as you can see, you know, this one would have come back, take you at a break even, and then gives you another one up. We don't have any bearish divergence there, so we may get a bull hidden in here, and then another one up in here. So at this stage, I'd be looking for a buy, you know, on the lower time frames for another one up to break that top. For a sell, I'd really like to see this low here being broken and then a correction, and then I could look for a sell. But at this stage, I'd be looking for that bull hidden and confirmation of that bull hidden. If you want to learn all that, join the group and you learn all that, how you can identify hidden divergences and get them confirmed and all the rest of it. But UY, this one's a little bit more tricky because we have this, well, I've got it as a B wave on the weekly, and we sort of do have a C up there as well. Like, but on the daily, we got 3 up in here, and then we got this very deep correction to this. Like it's back down to the 90 fib of this move up in here. So there's quite a few different scenarios here. It can be like a complex correction. You know, 3, 3, get another 3 up here, another 3 or 5 down in here before you get some sort of an A, B, C, you know. At this stage, really, it's just scalping on the lower time frames. It's very similar to GY. H4, we have that bull hidden, no bearish divergence, bull hidden. So this can go up and break that top. You may get a scalp out of it. You go down to the lower time frames, and you at this stage you could look for a buy on the lower time frames. But yeah, we don't have a bull hidden on the. I don't believe we have a bull hidden here. Oh yeah, yeah, we do actually have a bull hidden on the H1 as well. So, but I'd be careful with this because this can be a flat, like an A, a B, C in here, a flat, and then you get an A, B, C, and then it goes. So, you know, yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind if you're looking for this buy at this stage to go and break the top with the bull hidden. UCAD, pretty much I'm staying out of this, and like I've been mentioning for many weeks now. I really want to see this time factor here for that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can look for a 5th wave up. Yeah, it's quite dangerous this at this stage. It's like I mentioned last week, this can be a flat here. Like we got an impulse correction, get an impulse up in here, a flat, and then another one down before we get more upside. So we were looking for this up in here, this buy in here. If you got into the buy, well, there's still a little bit more room up to this 100 fib. And we don't know, it may turn expanding as well and go and break this top and then give us another one down for an A, B, C expanding flat. before we get that A, B, C. So, yep. The Swissy on the daily, like I've mentioned previously, we got this running triangle here, an A, B, C, D, E, and then we got that A, B, C. Looking at the lower time frames, I'm not convinced this is over either. We sort of only have like 3 down in here. We can get a wave 4 and a wave 5. So, you know, so we still can get some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th wave down before it goes. I'm not convinced that this is the low of the daily yet. H1, this has bounced clean off this 100 fib. So it does make it hard to, well, it's risky to trade the wave 5 up now, because this can fall over from here. We've got this like 1, 2, 3 or ABC. So yeah, this may turn motive in here if I just zoom in a little bit and show you. We got an impulse, correction, impulse. So this may be a flat in here and we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaking this low, or it may give you like 1, 2, 3 down, a wave 4, and then it goes up and breaks the top. So at this stage, it can go either way. Yeah. I don't think there's a sell set up on it for this flat yet either. It's really, because this low here hasn't been broken in this very choppy B wave, this still can give another one up as a regular flat. Just breaking that top for an A, B, C, and then you get that A, B, C, or like I mentioned, it may turn into a wave 3 and go and break the daily low. So yeah, at this stage, there's really, you may get a buy set up just to go and break this top. It's really just scalping, possibly buying just to break this top, and then looking for a sell set up for 3 down like that A, B, C, and like I mentioned, it may turn motive. EG on the daily, we've got this 1, 2, 3. We're getting a wave 4 here. We don't have a bull hidden here yet, but we may get a bull hidden and then a 5th wave up. H4, we don't really, if you've been following me for a while, I was sort of looking for 5 up in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 5 up there as an extended wave 3 on the daily. That never played out. Instead, we're getting a larger correction than this over here. It still can go up and break this top. But we don't have any bullish divergence in here, so it's quite risky to buy just at this stage. On the H1, we are getting a lot of bullish divergence in here. So this is looks like an A, B, C in here, and then we can get an A, B, C flat, and then we get another one down, breaking the low, and then we get the bullish setup for the daily. But so it is quite risky to buy at this stage. I mean, if you go down to the lower time frames, you may get a buy setup. Like I mentioned, I can't really go into buy setups, well, right down onto the lower time frames in these videos, or if I did, you know, the videos would take an hour or two to go through, but you can see in here, if you went right down to the lower time frames, you could have got that, but yeah, that's not for the weekly outlooks. WTI, I'm looking for this A, B, C. Looking for this C up, but like I've been mentioning, I'm not convinced that this is the low yet. I'm waiting for this time factor. We got like 1, 2, 3, waiting for a wave 4, and we still can get a wave 5 down before we get that C up on the daily. So again, I'm not really convinced that this is over. I mean, we were looking for this in here. I'm looking for this C up. It's already given us that C up. The ending point of this wave A has been broken in this wave C. So this can be complete as an A, B, C already. There is a chance that this is some sort of an A, B, C here, expanding flat, and we get like 1, 2, 3 up here as well to finish off the wave C. Very dangerous to buy. You'd want a really nice setup to buy it, but if you do, you can look to buy, and yeah, it may just, you know, you definitely want to be, if you're on the buy, if you get a buy set up, I'd definitely want to be at break even at the break of this top, because it may just come up here, break that top, and then come down and break the lows. Or it may just, you know, give you a larger correction in here. If it doesn't go and break the lows, it may just give you an A, B, C in here, and then more upside. But at that stage, it's too early to forecast for that. You could actually look for a sell setup here if you got one, because if we take a quick look at the M15, we've got an impulse down, we've got 3 up. We may still get an A, B, C here. So yeah, it can really go either way at this stage. This may be the flat here, like I mentioned, and we get an A, B, C from here, or like I just mentioned, we get a larger correction here, or it even goes and breaks the low. So yeah, take a quick look at gold. Nothing's changed on the daily, and I'd be waiting for, you know, this time factor for the 1, 2, 3. Wait for the time factor in the wave 4, and then trade a wave 5 up. I'd be really waiting for this time factor, like I've been mentioning for quite some time now. It may be complete. This may be an A, B, C in here flat, and then we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. Another 3 and 5, like 5, 3, 5, finishing off the wave 4 on the daily, and then a 5th wave up. So at this stage, you know, there's no bullish divergence. So if we go down to the lower time frames, you have to be very careful here, because we have a bear hidden there. We have one in here and one in here. So this high and this high, and this high here, excuse me, this high here hadn't been broken. So this can go down and break this low again still. So really for the buy, I would have liked to see a nice impulse up, breaking the tops, and then give us a correction, and it'd be a safer trade at this stage. Yeah, it still can give us more downside, like I just showed. And really, I'd be waiting for that time factor on the daily. That's the safest way. Silver, we got that 5 up, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, impulse down. This may go from here. We've got a larger correction here after the 5 up, so this one here may go, but like I've been mentioning on the H4, we do have a bear hidden here. We still have this possible bear hidden, so this may be turn motive and give you 5 down here, breaking that low before it goes. This here does look rather corrective. For a buy, I'd like to see a nice impulse up, breaking these tops, giving you a little flag on the lower time frames, and then you could look for like 1 2 3 or an ABC. But yeah, I'd be very careful with this. Like I said, we have that possible bear hidden here, and if you get caught on the wrong side, it can come down and break that low. Bitcoin, this is pretty much playing out how we're looking at it. You know, we had the 5 up. We got a larger correction than these over here. And here we got a nice impulse up. Really waiting for a correction in here, and then we could look for a buy. Until that really happens, you know, it's risky like gold. I mean, there were opportunities to buy this, like in here. If you followed me for a while, we were looking for this. We had all that bullish divergence here from a low, nice impulse up. We got that was the first correction. Then we got like a running flat in here for a 5th wave up. Now we have bearish divergence, so buying up here, it makes it very risky. It still may give a correction in here and give you another one up, but you know, you want a really nice setup to buy, and there is at this stage there is no sell setups on it, unless you went right down onto the lower time frames. You may find a sell setup. I mean, you definitely can look for a sell setup if you get one, but nothing solid yet. Yeah. S&P 500. There was 2 scenarios here, like I mentioned. If I just zoom in a bit more. We were waiting for this here to end. We had all that bearish divergence, so we were expecting this. There was 2 scenarios here. Either this is a flat and it goes up and breaks the top, which is it's looking like it'll do, or it gives us a correction in here and we get 3 down, like 1 2 3. It's looking like the first scenario I was mentioning a while ago. That's a flat. We got the 5 up, a larger correction, and we get another 5 up. At this stage, you know, it's very impulsive. On the daily, it looks very impulsive. It was quite difficult to get in all this. On the lower time frames, though, we have broken this top here now. We sort of got like 1 2 3. You have to wait for a wave 4, and then you could look for a wave 5 up here on the H4. Yep, and I would be waiting for that wave 4 on the H4, because as you can see on the H1 now, we have this bearish divergence. So for a sell, you know, I'd like a nice impulse down, little correction, and you could look for 5 down or at least 3 down. You know, very risky to be buying once we've got that bearish divergence, which we have now. So yeah, it's really, I mean, you're already on the buy. If you're looking for the buys, you'd already be on it. AU 200, very similar to S&P 500. Oh, if I quickly go up to the weekly, this will show it a lot easier. So it pretty much done what I was looking for. We got an A, we got a B, oh, sorry, an A, B, C in here as this flat, and then we get that A, B, C. So this can go up and break the top as well. Very similar to S&P 500. There was the two scenarios on the daily. We either go up and break the top, or we get a correction and another one down. Well, this is looking very bullish. So at this stage, you really have to wait for a correction, and then you could look for a buy. Until you got that correction, in my opinion, it's too risky to buy. At this stage, we got an impulse up on the H4. I'd like to see correction back to the 50 fib or 38.2 or whatever sort of correction, but I want to see a nice correction in here before I start to look for the buy on the H1. Very the same as the S&P. Overall, we got a lot of bearish divergence, so to be buying up here, it makes it risky. I mean, you could scalp it, maybe get a B, C in here, and then a buy set up on the real lower time frames just to go up and break the top, and A, B, C. But yeah, it's really just scalping at this stage. I'd be more interested in the sell, selling into that correction, getting the first sell set up, and selling it down to the 38.2 or 50 fib. The FTSE, we had all that bearish divergence from these two tops, got a nice impulse down. It's like the other indices, it's gone straight back up. We didn't get that correction for 3 down. It's just gone straight back up. But again, we need that correction on the lower time frames, a complete correction, before we can start to look for buys. And if I just go back to the daily, you can see in here we have a possible bear hidden here too. That top there hasn't been broken, so this can just break that top there, and without breaking this top here, and it can still give you another one down. So it is quite risky. That's why you want to wait for the larger correction. H4, we've got we do have 3 down in here. We've got 1, 2, 3. And it's going up and breaking the top, but we're getting all that bearish divergence. So again, it's really just going down to the lower time frames and scalping. You'd be waiting for a wave 4, like some sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you trade that wave 5 up. Yeah. For the sell, you want a nice impulse down, breaking the lows and giving you a correction, and then you could look for 3 down. But yeah, there's no sign of that at this stage. The DAX was the exception to the other indices. This one, if you've been following me for a while, we had that ball hidden in here, and this top could get broken, and it has. Now, the only thing you can do now, like the others, you got to wait for a correction, and then you can look for another buy. I wouldn't be looking for buys up here. If I quickly go down to the H1, we're starting to get all this bearish divergence. Getting a lot of bearish divergence. So, gets very risky if you start buying up the top. So yeah, what I'd like to see, nice breaking their stop here, nice impulse down, and then I'd be more interested in the sell setup. But until I get this, I'd be pretty much staying out of it. So I hope you got something out of this weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.